Vete omnes. And welcome to our introductory episode to Lectio Latinae. Lectio Latinae is a channel dedicated to teaching Latin classical texts in inductive Latin. So the goal is to learn Latin texts like, let's say, Augustine, or even at times Cicero, in classical Latin by talking through the text in Latin, almost as though you're having a discussion about the text you're reading in the language that the text was originally written in. The goal of this is to make listeners fluent in Latin and able to follow along with their eyes and their ears as I inductively teach through it with synonyms and grammatical explanations, all in Latin, to increase fluency and to enforce the inductive method, which is proven to be the best method for language learning, especially unto fluency. So that's this channel, and today is just a short introduction about the grammatical terms and grammatical Latin words that will be needed to understand some of the instruction details throughout these videos. So let's get right to it and get into the words that we'll need. Well, we have nomen et verbum. These are the two foundational words for learning Latin grammar in Latin. Nomen just means a name, so any name or word that is given to signify a thing. Verbum also means that. So they're kind of synonyms, they're kind of very similar. Verbum, however, also has a second meaning. So verbum specifically in grammatical language means verb, an action word. You could say nomen actio, like an action word, but the best way to say it is verbum. So that's what we'll be using for verb. Hoc nomen est verbum, or hoc verbum, which still can also mean just word. Hoc verbum est verbum is an action, right? Okay, but for noun, we have nomen substantivum, which just means nomen substantivum, a name that communicates a substance, something that is, right? A person, place, or a thing. This is the foundation, right? The first word in any sentence is usually a nomen substantivum, which is about to do an action, right? Like a brother or a book or a tree, right? Nomen substantivum. Now, we also have nomen adjectivum, which is in the very word itself, the word adjective, right? We know this is a description word, so things that have the qualities, that communicate qualities, like the white water bottle, the white pen, the beautiful tree, the beautiful mug. It's a good mug. These things are all adjectives, beautiful, white, and in Latin we'll call them nomen adjectivum. We'll see lots of those throughout. As well, we have nomen adverbium, right? Adverbs, things like quickly, hastily. These adverbs will be communicated as nomen adverbium as well. And then we have praepositio, which just is preposition. So any in, cum, pros, all these things will be praepositio. Very good. Now we have our cases, okay? Having concluded all the types of words themselves in a grammatical sense, we'll include the cases, which all of these words, except for adverbs and prepositions, all the cases these words can fall into. So we've got our many cases in Latin. If you've studied it, you know that there are many cases each word can fall into, and these are the nominativus. This is the nominativus case, which is the subject, right? You got the genitivus case, you've got the dativus, you've got accusativus, and ablativus. And these just communicate what is very similarly the English version: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. Okay, so it's very simple. I might say, hoc nomen est accusativus. Hoc nomen est accusativus. Okay, so it's an accusative word, and therefore I will communicate it thus. This will be helpful when we get into identifying different modification, different endings, right? And so there's that. Now, we have also gender in Latin. So we have our three genders, our masculinum, our femininum, and our neutrum. Now, this is exactly how they will be communicated in Latin. We've got the genus masculinum, genus femininum, genus neutrum. So when you hear those words, think there's a gender going on. We've got synonyma, right? This is a very important word for this channel. There will be lots of synonyms of Latin words being thrown around. Why? Well, because the more words you have for a singular action or a singular idea, the better you are able to explain it. Because sometimes you forget one word, then you have another one that can replace it and give you the chance of communication. Now, since that is the goal, which is fluency of both speaking and reading, this channel will throw at a lot of synonyms. So I will ask, quid est synonym pro hoc verbo, for this word? And think of them when you hear that, and also follow along the ones that are given. There's also going to be lots of imagines made throughout this channel, so watch for that word, quid est imaginem, and I'll draw them. I can't promise that they'll be any good, but there will be lots of flowers, I'm sure. Flora, lilia, lots of trees, arborest, right? And you can write them out, arbor, arrows, right? And arbore, I can't remember how to spell arbor. But there will be images, and hopefully there will be right spelling too. And now we have, last but not least, the Latin tenses. Okay, so this is very important as well as we teach through tenses. Quid tempus est? Quid tempus habet hoc verbum? Tempum habet hoc verbum, rather. And these are tempus praesens, the present tense, tempus imperfectum, tempus perfectum, tempus plusquam perfectum, right, the pluperfect, tempus futurum simplex et futurum exactum. I will most likely be using futurum for both of these. Might not be too specific, but you can see the examples over here of amat, amabat, amawit, amaverat, amabit, amaverit. You, if you've studied much Latin, are familiar with some of these, and if not all of them, and therefore we will be referencing and asking and interrogating different words for their tempus. What tempus? Quid habet verbum habet quid tempum. And then we'll find it. Very good. That's pretty much everything for Latin introduction. Review this video if you need help with some of these words, but I hope they stick with you as you learn throughout. And these are pretty much all the grammatical terms that will be used for Lectio Latinae. Thanks for watching.